Welcome to BucosLocker. Your host, Isaiah. Coming to you again, once again. Subscribe to the channel. Like the channel. Don't get mad at me. And share the videos. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you all new videos that's posted on this channel. Shouts out to all the Pirates and Sea Bandits. Thank you for joining. Thank you for continuing to support the channel. Yeah. Life is good. I'm healthy. You healthy. I'm good over here. Are you good? Are you good over there? I'm just saying. I don't know about y'all, but I got to give y'all the exciting part of it. And, first and foremost, let's give a welcome to the new Buck, Akeem Hicks. Yes, folks, we signed Akeem Hicks to a 1-year deal, incentive-based, $10 million. Incentive-based. I want y'all to understand that. Incentive-based. Which still leaves room to sign the Gronk, Gronkowski. Now, I got to give y'all the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? I'm excited for the signing. I called this a while ago. I brought this up many videos ago about some guys that the Bucs can sign on the D-line, and Akeem Hicks was one of them. And for those of you that don't know about Akeem Hicks, he played for a couple teams before he got to the Bucs. He played for the Saints years ago. He played for the Patriots for 1 year with Tom Brady. So I don't know if Tom Brady had I don't know if he had a call in that, but I don't know. Maybe the assistant GM / head coach probably was like, yeah, Akeem Hicks is good. And then he just recently he played for the Bears. He left the Patriots. He signed a big contract, 4 years, $40 million with the Bears. And he had a couple good seasons with them, right? His last good season was 2018. That's when he was at his peak. That was 4 years ago. He was 28. He's 32 now. So if those of you that's been bringing up Ndamukong Suh, now you can be quiet. I understand you Ndamukong Suh fans, Ndamukong Suh, is he coming back? No. It is a wrap for Ndamukong Suh. I don't want to hear anything else about him. Okay? So does this confirm? Does this get y'all minds right on how the Bucs are moving? No JPP, no Ndamukong Suh, unless there's injury. And I don't even know if the Bucs would do that. And coming into this offseason, one of the positions of need was D-line. Now, I wanted the Bucs to go younger. But we'll get to that in a second. So that was one of the biggest question marks, of course, along with the Chris Godwin situation, but they addressed that. And of course, the secondary situation, they addressed that with Logan Ryan and Keanu Neal. So the Bucs have made some moves to address some areas on the team, specifically the defense, that's been the problem for years. Even with Brady, it's been a problem. It's been the bigger problem. And the Bucs been trying to address this for years. Before pre-Brady, they've been trying to fix this defense. It's just been bottom of the pack for years. And recently with Todd Bowles coming into the foreground, coming to the background and coaching the defense up, the numbers have improved dramatically, right? That shows you how bad we were. But the defense still have flaws, specifically the pass defense. But the pass rush plays a big role with the pass defense. And the Bucs have struggled Even with the Super Bowl season, the Bucs have struggled rushing the quarterback. Now, let's get down to the nitty gritty, right? With this Akeem Hicks signing, it's an incentive-based deal, so I don't expect him to reach $10 million. I always give me the base salary of the deal. What is probably about $3-4 million, maybe $5, I don't know, maybe $6, I don't know, somewhere up in there. That's the base deal. Then you got some guarantee money. That's always about the guarantee money. We're talking about the business side. We'll get to the Akeem Hicks on the field and what the expectations, and I'm gonna kind of settle y'all down for a second, give y'all some reality, right? Some logic behind this. But a little bit of emotion, because I am happy for the signing, right? But I have to give you the reality of that too. But the financial part, it's not $10 million. Let's get that clear. It's an incentive-based deal. If the Bucs did sign him to a $10 million deal, that would be insane for a 32-year-old D lineman, right? But we'll get to that in a second. But there's still room to sign Gronkowski, right? And some other guys if they need to, right? The Bucs got to leave themselves some room to play with, right? Because you don't know what might happen, right? You don't know what can happen. So from a financial standpoint, it's a good move. From the business side, right? It's a good move for the Bucs. Now on the football side, it's a really good move for the Bucs, right? From a D-line standpoint. Now, I must give you this caveat. I wanted the Bucs to go younger on the D-line so they can grow together. But I understand this signing. This signing basically is like signing Ndamukong Suh, but just somebody that's younger, if that's saying a lot. He's younger by a couple years, like 3 or 4 years. He's 3 or 4 years younger than Ndamukong Suh. Yeah, 3 or 4 years younger than Ndamukong Suh, which is still good for the Bucs D line. It's a short-term deal, right? It's a short-term deal. I don't see a long-term thing with this Akeem Hicks signing, so I'm expecting him to be here for 1 year. And I think most of us know that this is pretty much the last year for Brady and Gronkowski if he comes back. But next year we'll be back in drafting the D lineman. I guarantee that. I'm telling you right now, there is a high possibility that we're going to draft another D lineman in the first round or second round. So this is a temporary stopgap. And sometimes these things can work, right? Depending on the fit and all that. Now, the fit wise is a good fit because the Bucs run a base 3-4. So it's a good fit for the Bucs. It's a veteran presence. So they basically recreating what they did with Suh, right? Have some young guys on the D-line. You get a veteran guy, early 30s, might have a little left in the tank. And for those of you that's kind of like follow Akeem Hicks for a certain degree, his career didn't start off great. Played for the Saints or the Aints, and then he went to the Patriots, and then he went to the Bears. So peak Akeem Hicks. Now we're talking about the football side, so I have to give you both sides of this, right? So the football side of Akeem Hicks, it's a good fit. 3-4. He can play up and down the line. To be honest with you, now I'm very curious to see because he's a big guy, right? He's 32. Is he Vita's backup or is he a starter? Because the production says he's a starter, right? Overall, because the last couple of years has been injury prone for him. He's been injured. He got paid, then he got hurt, then he got older, right? So I'm gonna have to give you the reality of it, right? It's a good signing, but I'm gonna have to give you the reality so y'all can understand what I'm talking about. His last couple of years have been they haven't been good at all because of injury and because of age. That's what happens when you get injured and you get older in the NFL. It gets harder to recover and you don't have the same explosion. All we don't need 2018 Akeem Hicks because we're not getting that. Like, I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from. We're not getting the 2018 second team All-Pro. For those of you that like PFF grades, which I don't like them, but the PFF fans out there, he graded high at PFF in 2018. got the contract, got paid. But injuries and age caught up to him, right? And remember now, this happened 4 years ago. He was 28 years old. So he was peak Akeem Hicks in his prime. He is basically, as a D lineman, he is on the very end of his prime. 32 is at his position. That's basically it. That's why it's a 1-year deal, in my opinion, right? But if he can stay healthy, he can be a vital piece. The key word here, healthy. He needs to stay healthy for this to make sense. That is the, oh, by the way, health is a big concern for a 32-year-old D lineman coming off of 2 seasons of injury, or the last 3 seasons basically of injuries. 2019, 2020, and 2021. And he had some issues with the Chris Humphrey, the D-line coach. He had some issues with the defensive staff last year. They didn't get along, so this is a fresh start. His last kind of a contract, that makes sense. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna go all out. But he gotta stay healthy, because if he don't stay healthy, then that's like a no-no. You know what I'm saying? But keep in mind, folks, the expectations needs to be reasonable with signing, right? This signing, if he exceeds expectations, is great for the Bucs. If he don't meet the minimal expectations, it's a bad signing. So remember now, I'm not against the signing. I'm just giving y'all both sides of the story here. You got to understand this. We all excited. Some of us a little emotional, but we got to talk about the football perspective. Understand the position that he's in right now at 32. How much juice does he have in the tank? Is this an upgrade over Ndamukong Suh? Personally, at this point, yes. Now, some of y'all might say, well, what if he don't get 6.5 sacks? It's a downgrade. So we literally going to base Akeem Hicks off of. Now, remember, Ndamukong Suh played for the Bucs for a couple seasons. His best season, quote unquote, sack wise, was last year. Well, 6.5 sacks as far as with the Bucs. That you just kind of say that, right? So what curve are we grading Akeem Hicks on? Are we grading him on Ndamukong Suh curve? Last year, Ndamukong Suh? Or we are grading him on a curve that's saying that if he can give us half of his 2018 season, his best season, 4 years ago, if he can give us that, half of that, I will be okay with that. Because I'm not going to put a big expectations on Akeem Hicks. I'm not expecting him to come in and give us 8 sacks. I just can't give him that. And the one thing that he does not have over Ndamukong Suh is availability. Is what have you done for me lately? In the last couple of seasons, Suh has been healthy and durable, and Akeem Hicks has been hurt. And the best thing for a player, especially at his age, is availability. If you ain't available, that then doesn't mean anything. So I want you guys to tell me what's your expectations for Akeem Hicks. Just be out there, be a forceful, impactful guy, and get a couple sacks, because he's not a huge sack guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not act like he's a Chris Jones or a prime Fletcher Cox or a prime Geno Atkins. You know what I'm saying? Not a Jeffrey Simmons. We're not getting that. We're not getting an Ed Oliver. We're not getting that guy. You know what I'm saying? We're not getting, Leonard Williams or Quentin Williams or Aaron Donald. Even at this point, Aaron Donald's still a beast, right? We're not getting a DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead. We're not getting that. So I need y'all to understand where I'm coming from a football perspective. So some of you might be like, oh yeah, we got Akeem Hicks, that's 10 sacks. No. We just need, now remember now, the Bucs don't have any problem stopping the run. So him coming in for the run defense, okay, we already good against the run. That's not the issue with the Bucs. It's rushing the quarterback. How much value can Akeem Hicks add to the pass rush? I'm not worried about the run defense. Now, literally, I just gave y'all like 15 defensive tackles that he's not even close. At this point of his career, he's not even that. So that's why I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Great signing from a football perspective, but that's temporary expectations. Because he can stop the run, because he's a big body. But how much can he play? Because he's look at Vita. Well, Vita, 6'3", 6'4", 300. Akeem Hicks is pretty much damn the same size, and he's older. And playing football at 32 at a high level is not normal. Y'all get what I'm saying? Is how many 32-year-old defensive tackles are playing at a high level right now? You get what I'm saying? A good signing, the expectations y'all got to understand from a football perspective. We're not getting the 2018 Akeem Hicks. We're getting the 2022 at 32. So if he can give us some good pressure, be on the field, not get hurt, give us a couple sacks. When I say sacks, I mean not just random sacks, right? I'm talking about like game-changing sacks or big sacks. That makes sense, right? You got, because you got big time plays, right? So at his stage, he can produce in those spurts big time plays, like big time sacks, big time stops, right? We need him for stuff like that. Getting to the quarterback, because the pass defense suffers because of the pass rush. They play hand in hand. And if you just look at Akeem Hicks for what he is, he's a good player. It's just we get them at 32. Now, if this was a 29-year-old Akeem Hicks, a 28-year-old, hell, we going through the roof, baby. But when I saw the signing, I was like, that's good. But I also had to think about it from an expectation standpoint, like, okay, if he can stay healthy, we'll be straight. Now, will he give us 8, 9, 10 sacks? Anything can happen, right? But the numbers in the history show at 32 playing defensive tackle, and he could probably play some 5 technique too, but playing defensive tackle, he could sub in for for Vita, but I just haven't seen a 32-year-old defensive tackle get 8 sacks, especially that big. So the most important thing for Akeem Hicks is to be a part of the group, the collective group, because we got Barrett, we got Logan Hall, and we got Tristian for the juice, right? Now, is that enough juice? Remains to be seen. Logan Hall this takes pressure off of him too. Now, I will say this though, our D-line is a lot better now than it was last year. I will say that with the addition of Logan Hall, the second year of Joe Tryon, and this Akeem Hicks signing. And the Dietrich Sanat signing was underrated. Don't sleep on him, folks. He played for USF. Don't sleep on the Dietrich Sanat signing. That's a low-key, decent signing. But our defensive line is a lot better and younger, obviously, with Logan Hall being signed, than last year. Now, it comes down to the production, right? Can the production match? Now, with Logan Hall, being that he was our first pick, or basically a first round, but top of the second round, the number 1 pick in the second round, he's going to get a lot of playing time because you got to look at it from a football perspective. Akeem Hicks is not playing every down. You want your young guy out there, and you want Akeem Hicks to come in as a rotational piece, and sometimes start, depending on how you move the D-line. But this is a depth signing, right? This is something I'm like, well, Akeem Hicks is starting. I wouldn't go that far. If he starts some games, that's cool. But as a permanent starter, I wouldn't say that. Rotational piece. If that makes sense, like rotation. We need that. And to be honest with you, I think we might need one more. There's a couple guys still sitting out there that we could probably snatch up, pass rusher wise. Pass rusher. I get the run stopping thing, but get to the quarterback, man. The secondary, it's not really bad, and it's not really, really good. It's like middle of the pack. You know, it's hard to convince me that our secondary is top 10. I'm just being real. What is hashtag? What does your eyes tell you? Because if you're gonna run behind PFF and say, well, PFF say we top 5, yeesh, I got to question your football knowledge. You feel me? Because that's a subjective human grade there. But over those guys at PFF, most of those guys ain't never played the football. That's why those grades look so different from everybody else's. Well, the Bucs had top 3 secondary. What? Top 5? What? The numbers don't even back that up. Unless you want to nitpick. But remember, when you nitpick numbers, you're only telling a piece of a story. When you give all the numbers, it tells you the whole story. And then you look at the tape. Top 5? No. But with the pass rush getting better than it was last year, the group should make another jump. It's not bad. It's not the great. It's not like, oh my gosh, the Bucs pass defense is ridiculous. You can't throw the ball on the Bucs. Well, the tape and the numbers said we were in the 20s. Yards per game, yards per throw, completion percentage. Gave up a lot of big plays. Didn't intercept the ball a lot. So the pass rush should help that. Logan Hall and Akeem Hicks should help that. Joe Tryon, year number 2. So now I'm giving y'all the bigger picture. Because if it all comes together, the secondary going to look so much better because of the front 4 or front 5. But I'm going to keep saying this. We need juice on that D-line. Because if you saw the tape last year, it was lacking in a lot of areas. A lot of downs and key situations, the Bucs just couldn't. Every time they tried to rush 4 guys or rush 5, the 2 outside linebackers and the 3 down linebacker, the 3 down linemen, they weren't getting back there. Shaq Barrett kind of get some pressure, but that was against below average tackles. And then when he played against, cream of the crop, sometimes disappeared. And we needed somebody to help him. Joe Tryon should have got more playing time last year, but he didn't. But this year, he's starting. And I'm expecting Joe Tryon to probably get 8 to 10 sacks. Just based on what I've seen and his explosiveness. Add a little bit more weight, he'll be fine. Logan Hall, 290 now? He's already gained the weight. He just needs a playing time. And now you add Akeem Hicks in for some depth for Vita. So now you can have a rotation or a down on a down and distance perspective. You can have a D-line that look like this on 3rd down. Right? I'm going to give y'all some combinations here. Now that we got Akeem Hicks, right? At one point, you might have Akeem Hicks, Vita, and Logan Hall, the 3 down linemen. I'm just giving y'all some scenarios, mix and matching. And then you got your Tryon and your Shaq Barrett. I mean, that's not bad at all. That's pretty decent. Because Akeem Hicks can rush from anywhere. He's much better rushing straight ahead. But you could put Akeem Hicks out there or Vita out there to, because William Golston is not a pass rusher per se, but Akeem Hicks is a better pass rusher than William Golston. That makes sense. He's produced more. You might even have a lineup that has Logan Hall and Joe Tryon rushing from the inside. Because they do a lot of TE stunts. The end loops inside. Get Joe Tryon on the move, coming straight ahead, full speed ahead, and take the tackle and loop him to the outside where the the left or right tackle at, and loop Tryon in the inside, and have Logan Hall coming from the inside, have that juice pushing the pocket? Because that's what we struggled at, to be honest with you. Getting that pressure in the middle. But you add Logan Hall and you loop in Joe Tryon on that TEN stunt. And we saw Joe Tryon. He's so wiry. He can get in there between the tackle and the center. I mean, the guard and the center, and wiggle himself free. And because he's explosive, he's strong. He's lean. And we saw Joe Tryon rush up the middle a few times. Now, Shaq Barrett, that's not his thing. But sometimes you might have a Shaq Barrett, a Tryon, a TE stunt with both of them, with Logan Hall in the middle. And you loop Hicks or Vita on the outside. So there's ways, and they putting in some new wrinkles. So Akeem Hicks is a vital piece. What I mean by vital is like the rotation, like he's a part of the rotation. So I think it's a good signing. At his stage of his career and what he can produce, I think it's fine. I have nothing against that signing. I brought it up many videos ago. Nothing against the signing. I'm just giving y'all the reality of it, the logical perspective. Because some of us might have the expectations set really high, but the reality tells you, and history shows you, rotational piece. I still think the Bucs need some juice on the edges. I mean, what's behind Tryon and Shaq Barrett? Anthony Nelson? It's not enough. I think we need some more juice. One more signing. But like I said, I like the signing. But, $10 million incentive based. That means the base pay is not $10 million. For those of you that don't understand what I mean by incentive based. But it's good for the Bucs, and it's good for the Bucs secondary. Good for the Bucs defense. Because I'm not concerned about the run defense. We go all out for the run defense. Why can't we go all out for the pass defense? Remember now, when the Bucs blitz, and when they don't get to the quarterback, they get shredded. Some teams you can do that too. But if you look at the schedule, and this is why this Akeem Hicks signing is important, right? When you blitz 5 or 6 guys, or 7, and you don't get there, with our secondary, not bad, not great, average, they're going to get toasted sometimes. You just want to find that nice balance between the D-line and the secondary. Because let's be honest, that's not act like the secondary going to shut down everybody that's on that schedule. They're going to have problems with Dallas. They're going to have problems with Rams. They're going to have problems with the Chiefs. They're going to have problems with the Saints or the Aints. They're going to have problems with those guys. The Bengals. They're going to have problems with those 5 teams, and look at the weapons. They're going to have problems. So the Bucs secondary is not going to be this world beater like, oh my gosh, we just shut down everybody. It's not happening. It's going to be some struggle there. There's going to be some games you're going to be like, what you doing? It's going to happen. Nobody in the NFL is perfect. So don't get mad. And I got to check myself too. I can't get too mad at the Bucs secondary all the time. Got to control my emotions because the secondary is frustrating, but the pass rush can help the secondary. If that makes sense to some of you guys and ladies. Pass rush will help the secondary significantly. Because there will be some games, bombs away on us. It's just what it is. They're just our secondary. It's the type of secondary that we got. It's going to be some bombs away on our secondary. There's going to be some 300-yard games on our secondary. Look at the history. Shit, just look at the last 2 years. Bombs away, touchdown. Like, what you doing, Carlton Davis? Like, it's just what it is. At this point, you have to kind of understand this is what we got. They're not in year 1 or year 2 now. They year 4 now. Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, Murphy Bunton, Mike Edwards, Logan Ryan definitely gonna help. Keanu Neal gonna help. Cockrell. But y'all gotta understand, there's gonna be some bombs away on our secondary, and there's gonna be some times that our pass rushers don't get there. We can't get back there every time. Can't get back there every time. But the problem is you want the percentage of getting back there to go higher. So let's just say like a number, like if the Bucs got back there 33% of the time, you want that to go to like 36 to 40% of the time they get to the quarterback, right? You get what I'm saying? Just giving y'all numbers. Because they did I forgot the stat exactly, but it was like when the Bucs blitz like 5 or more, the completion percentage is higher because of the pass rush. The Bucs blitz package. See, Akeem Hicks gotta push the pocket up the middle. Vita, he's good, but he's limited to a certain degree. When it comes to pass rushing, when it comes to those money downs, the 3rd and 8s, the 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 10 pluses, first down, like, oh my gosh, and you blitz 6 people and you didn't get back there. How many times have we seen that? How many times we seen Todd Bowles send 6, 7 guys? 15-yard first down. But I understand why he did it. I understand why he will blitz 5, 6, sometimes 7 guys to rush the quarterback, right? To rush his thought process, to speed up his thought process and to make a mistake. And it worked a few times, but not a lot. We got burnt more than stopping the team. The numbers in the tape show you that. Go look at the breakdown, the advanced numbers of when the Bucs blitz 5 or more. Go look at the numbers. Horrible. Even during the Super Bowl run, it wasn't great. I mean, how many times are we going to continue to rank in the mid-20s in pass defense? But hey, we stopped the run though. I mean, we can't just keep holding our head up high just stopping the run. Rowing the boat, just stopping the run. Stop the pass too. Get some more interceptions, Carlton Davis. But like I said, at the end of the day, when the pass rush is better, the pass defense is better. We've seen that in a few teams, specifically the 49ers. The 49ers secondary is not even that great, but it's top 10 based on numbers and how you scheme your pass rush. When you got 4, 5, 6, 7 guys deep, look at the Rams. I'm just saying, folks, like, I'm looking forward to the improvement on the D-line, which will improve the secondary, especially with Logan Ryan as the veteran. Hopefully he don't fall off a cliff. And then Keanu Neal and his production and his cover skills, I just, all you can do is be hopeful. But the Akeem Hicks signing is a good signing because it's a good rotational piece. It adds depth, and it gives us a veteran presence. I mean, William Golston is a veteran, right? 10 years, right? Akeem Hicks now, Shaq Barrett is a veteran. You can say that, right? So I understand the signing of Akeem Hicks as far as that is to help Logan Hall. Because on paper, you look at our D-line, you'd be like, all right, I can work with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see what it does on the field together, the cohesion, the cohesiveness, right? Akeem Hicks is trying to fit in, right? Logan Hall trying to fit in and get his feet wet because he's going to have some growing pains. But Akeem Hicks will definitely help Logan Hall. That is the reason why. That's one of the reasons why they signed him, to help Logan Hall, to take the pressure off of Logan Hall. They couldn't bring Ndamukong Suh back to teach Logan Hall that. They needed somebody that could actually be productive. And I'll be like, well, Ndamukong Suh had 6 sacks. Okay. How much impact? I mean, y'all see the schedule. Teams are going to try the Bucs. It is what it is. Teams are going to try the Bucs based on history when it comes to throwing the ball. Dallas, the first two games, Dallas and New Orleans. Them two games alone gonna tell you exactly how the secondary gonna look for the first quarter or the first half of the season. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you want to know how the secondary gonna look moving forward, those first 8 games, those first 2 games gonna tell you exactly how the Bucs secondary gonna look for the first half of the season. Not the whole season, because they can flip it around. But you see the schedule, right? They're throwing the ball in the Bucs. So this is why I'm saying, like, don't get too caught up. There's going to be some bad games when the pass defense give up 300 yards, 350, 325. It's going to be some games like that. Shootout, right? Or we might be blowing them out, and the team just got to keep throwing the ball. So those numbers can be inflated. So like now in my opinion, as of right now, I don't see a lot of games on the schedule that's going to be blowouts, except for the Falcons and the Carolina Kitty Cats. Those 2 games will be blowouts. So those quarterbacks numbers might look good. But those other games, the Bengals, Rams, Chiefs, like there's going to be some games you're going to be like, dang it. It is what it is. Like, just make sure you come into these games understanding the situation and understanding who we playing, right? Because if you come into every game, every 17 games, if you come into every game thinking that the pass rush is going to get back there, then you just fantasy world. There's no way, heck, that we're going to stop every team all 17 games. It's not about stopping the team. It's about stopping them when it matters. Because a guy can throw for 350 yards, but we can still win the game. Because we made key stops. And then they're like, well, the Bucs gave up 350 yards passing. Well, they got 2 picks. And they had 4 sacks. Yeah, the numbers is there, but we won the game 31-27. The defense played good when they needed to. Let's kind of get to that point, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not quite at the point where that our expectations for the Bucs defense, even with the Akeem Hicks signing, let's not act like the Bucs defense is world beaters. You get what I'm saying? I just want y'all to understand, like, we're not world beaters yet. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting to the point where we can be like, the Bucs defense ain't no joke. Now, 2002 defense, of course not. But you get what I'm saying. You want to get close enough to be like, the defense is respectable on both sides, right? Both levels. Front 7 and then the back end. You want to be respectable. And right now, I believe, in my opinion, the Bucs secondary is not respectable. I don't care what PFF says. It means nothing. Means nothing. Because last year, nothing about that defense said top 3, top 5 overall. I'm not talking about, well, the Bucs run defense was number 1, number 2. As a whole, it is not a top 5 defense. Why? Because of the secondary. You can't be ranked in the 20s and top 3 in the run defense and say, oh, we top 10. How does that make any, from a number standpoint, doesn't make sense. Well, I've been working out. But you get what I'm saying? I'm trying to get my summer body right. So I've been in the gym. Trying, But yeah, all goes well for the Bucs defense as long as the pass rush is there. My major concern for me is pass rush. Not too concerned about secondary, because if the pass rush is there, the secondary be good. That's my major concern. And, I'm curious to see what Logan Hall and Joe Tryon and Akeem Hicks do. I know what Shaq Barrett going to do. I know what he is now. 8 to 12 sacks. Guaranteed. You can book 8 to 12 sacks for Shaq Barrett. He ain't getting no 20. He ain't getting 15. Just look at the last couple years, But he'll get you about 8 to 12. It's right around where he belong at. And hopefully Shaq Barrett, his sacks come in those games against the Aints and the Cowboys and the Chiefs and the Rams and the Bengals. Those 5 games. Or 6, because Saints twice. The Aints twice. So Saints twice, Cowboys, Rams, Chiefs, and Bengals. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I want Shaq Barrett to kind of like, those 6 games right there, I want Shaq Barrett to be like, rip, sack, strip, fumble. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to see those games, and I look at Shaq Barrett numbers, 1 tackle. I don't want to see that. I don't want to look at those 6. I don't circle my 6 games. I look at 6 specific games. I know the schedule's tough overall, but the 6 games that stand out to me: Saints twice, Rams, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bengals. I want to see Shaq Barrett numbers on those games. Because to me, those games right there are going to determine our season, in my opinion. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying those 6 games are really important. Yes, the Cowboy game is very important because they almost beat us last year. It wasn't for some hiccups, the Cowboys would have squeaked out, got us in Tampa. Now we're going to Jerry's World. Hopefully I can be there. Hopefully I see some of y'all out there. But those 6 games are literally circled as being super important. All games are important, but I'm just saying, like, whoa, those 6 games right there. Can't go below 500. Got to split with the Saints. You got to find a way to win, a couple of those games, the other 5 games, or other 4 games. Yeah. So split with the Saints, and then if you go 2-2 and split with the Saints, that's 3-3. Maybe we can squeak out a 4-2 record out of those 6 games, which would be great. Now, are we gonna go 6-0 in those 6 games? No. I mean, I'm just being realistic here. But 4-2, But I circled my 6 games. I don't want to get too far off with the Akeem Hicks signing, but y'all get what I'm going at with the defense, right? So, he said, hopefully Shaq Barrett's toned up. Yeah, he's been pudgy the last couple of years. But yeah, I'm expecting about 8 to 12 sacks. But I want 50% of those sacks, in those very important games. I just want Shaq Barrett to be just in those big games, just be like, I'm here. Akeem Hicks forced a fumble, a sack or tip ball to an interception. Those are the games I want to see those guys like pop. Don't pop against the Falcons and the Carolina Kitty Cats. I'm gonna be like, whatever. That's not gonna move me. You're gonna move me when you show up for those games. Look, Akeem Hicks for 11 games don't have to do anything. But those 6 games, if he show up for those 6 games and those 6 games only, I am grateful. In those other 11 games, he don't really do much. Cool. But those 6 games, he show up and show out. Akeem Hicks, let's get it. Sign him up for another year. Sign him up for another year. Because you gotta think about it. We already got 4 games. We already 4-0 already. Before the season start, we already 4-0. We already 4-0, folks. Y'all want to know why I say that? Carolina Kitty Cats and Atlanta Falcons. That's 4 games already. All we need to win is 7 more. Or 8 more. 11-6, 12-5. We already got 4 games chalked up as... We got 4 games already. We just need 7 to 8 more games. So So we 4-0. So 13 games. If we can go 8-5 or 7-6, we good. Yeah. I think I'm about to wrap this up because our defense has gotten better. I can honestly say that our defense has gotten better. I like the direction. I still think we might could add another pass rusher, but because you never can have enough pass rushers. But I'm good with the Akeem Hicks signing. Other than that, tell me your thoughts in the comment section with this signing. What's your grade for this signing? What's your expectations? Do you like it? Are you meh? Are you mid? Or are you you don't like it? Tell me what you think in the comment section. Shouts out to all the Powder C Manners. Thank you for joining a live stream of BucosLocker. Your host Isaiah. Subscribe to the channel, like the channel, and share the videos. With that being said, fire those cannons, seize the day, raise a flag, hashtag no risky no biscuit, hashtag bombs away, hashtag facts with feelings, hashtag what did your eyes tell you, hashtag don't get mad at me, hashtag Super Bowl or bust. Y'all know what it is. We're going to talk some more on Friday. Unless some other news pop up. But I'll see y'all this Friday. BucosLocker out. Deuces.